What's going on, guys? It's NYPrepper here. Just wanted to talk to you guys today about hip shooting with your shotgun. I think a lot of people underestimate how valuable hip shooting is with a 12 gauge shotgun or any kind of shotgun. Being able to hip shoot properly is a very important skill. I think a lot of guys overlook how important it is to be good at hip shooting. Alright, and one of the big advantages to a shotgun is the fact that you can hip shoot, okay? If you're shooting a rifle, you can't hip shoot because obviously a rifle, you have one bullet and one projectile, and you have to aim that projectile properly, alright? But with a shotgun, you have a lot of pellets and you have multiple projectiles, so that gives you the ability to shoot from the hip. And in a home defense situation or a self-defense situation in a close quarters environment, being able to shoot from the hip is important. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about different ways to hip shoot and show you guys some of the techniques that I use. And then we're going to do some live fire at the target right over here. Alright guys, so I want to show you the two different ways that you can shoot from the hip. So the first way is just holding the shotgun at your waist like this. If you're going to do it like this, you want to make sure that you're not using magnum shells, alright? You want to make sure you're using 2 3/4 inch. You don't want to use 3-inch or 3.5 inch shells if you're going to be shooting from the hip like this, from the waist level. And the reason why is when the gun recoils back, the trigger guard is going to slam into your fingers and it's going to hurt like hell. It's going to slam into your middle finger and your ring finger, okay? Even if you hold it tight, it's just going to slam and hit your finger, all right? So I definitely advise that you use 2 3/4 inch shells versus 3-inch shells for any kind of hip shooting, okay? You can do it with 3-inch shells. It's just you're going to beat up your knuckles, okay? So with the waist level, you're just going to hold it like this at the waist, and you're going to make sure you have a tight grip on your shotgun, okay? You want to have a good, solid, tight grip. You don't want to have a loose grip. You want to make sure that grip is tight, all right? Now, the second way to do it, this way is actually better in my opinion. It controls the recoil a little bit better, and what you do is you take the buttstock of the shotgun and you tuck it like into your bicep here. I don't know if you guys can see that. You kind of tuck it into your bicep, okay, just like this. And what you're doing is you're letting your bicep take up the recoil, okay? So the buttstock, the pad, okay, the pad is going to go into your armpit, okay? You're going into your armpit just like this, and you're locking it into your armpit with your bicep against your rib cage area, okay? And so what's going to happen is your bicep and your armpit are going to take up the recoil when the gun kicks back, okay? The buttstock is tight inside of your armpit, and your bicep is going to take up the recoil. And what's nice about this method too, if you notice, you can actually shoot this one-handed, okay? So this is a good way if, let's say, you get injured, okay, let's say something happens to your other hand and you have to shoot one-handed, you can tuck this buttstock here under your armpit, make sure it's firmly tucked, okay, nice and tight, and you want to squeeze the stock, okay, you want to squeeze the buttstock between your bicep and your ribs, okay, in your armpit, nice and tight, squeeze it together, and you can actually shoot this one-handed now. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to demonstrate that on our target over here. I'm going to demonstrate that in a second, and I'll show you guys how you can actually shoot one-handed like this. Alright, and so this method is obviously preferred because you control the recoil better, but it takes a little bit more time to get the shotgun into your armpit versus if it's at the waist level. You can just aim at the waist level like this and you don't have to do anything. So if, let's say a threat comes out and you have to quickly deal with your threat, okay, when you have the gun at the waist level, it's already there. So all you have to do is just orient yourself towards the target. Okay, you don't have to bring it up into your armpit like this, which is going to delay your response. Okay, so if let's say I'm walking with my shotgun through my home or something and there's a bad guy, it's much easier to just turn towards him and shoot from the waist like this. All right, but I could also bring it up to my armpit and shoot like this as well. Okay, now obviously you want to always use your sights if you can. Okay, but there may be a situation where using your sights is a little bit more difficult. You know, there may be a close quarters situation where you have to shoot from the hip and you can't get your sights on target fast enough. Okay, getting your sights on target is obviously better, but there may be situations where you don't have enough time. Okay, and that's where shooting from the hip is a really good thing to practice. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to practice shooting from the waist, and then I like to practice shooting between my armpits, okay? Just like so. All right, so we're gonna do some drills here, and I'll show you guys how it works. Alright guys, I just wanted to show you the results of my hip shots here. And you can see most of them pretty much hit the target. Okay, there was one down here, one grouping here. We had one grouping here. We had one grouping here. We had a grouping here. The first shot I took was a little bit high, but it still would have hit him in the head, okay? But as you can see, you know, hip shooting, it's not going to be the same as, you know, aiming, obviously, aiming down your sights. But you're going to get on target, okay? You're going to hit something with that shotgun spread, okay? So practice your hip shooting, guys. It's very important. And again, if you're hip shooting, you're obviously going to be shooting close range. You're not going to be shooting long range, all right? So keep that in mind. You know, hip shooting, you want to do it under 10 yards. Ideally would be even just 5 yards is really the best range for hip shooting, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Go out there and practice your hip shooting. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.